so I decided to write a song.
Welcome back to the Make a Way podcast. I'm here with former Philadelphia hoop sensation Rachel Fountain. I believe you like to go by Mo though, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna go by Mo. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for coming on here. I really appreciate you first
Always.
and foremost. I mean, but
Thank you for caring about women's sports. Not so many people here.
I'll tell you firsthand. Like, first off, like the reason why I really appreciate you, one is you're my first interview with a female athlete, but if you were to see my DMs, you wouldn't believe it. I've been trying for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I don't know if it's like maybe some people are shy, some people are camera shy, whatever. Football players love the camera. They love talking about themselves all day. They'll come on and talk about themselves day and night. But like, I went to school for sport management. I've been in classrooms taught by former female athletes. And there's one thing I know is equity in sport is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
Representation in sports is extremely important. I love where the sports world is going now, where like, last year, like the LSU and Iowa women's basketball game, like, was one of the most watched sporting events ever. You feel me? I really, really try to get myself involved in women's sports. I'm actually going to Iowa versus Maryland women's basketball game. I actually bought tickets like a couple weeks ago. It was in like February. Yeah, no, it's really important to me because it should be important to everybody. A lot of the most important mentors that I had in my sports career was actually women. So, if I didn't have like strong and powerful women behind me that was like guiding me the right way, you know what I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at for sure. So, tell me about you. Where are you from?
I'm from West Philly.
West Philly. Born and raised, been there your whole life?
Yeah, 18 years from birth to 17. Then I moved up Albany in 12th grade.
Okay.
I've been there since. Northeast area since.
Okay. Did you play sports your whole life, or did you just play sports early on and later on? When did you catch it really?
I played volleyball 8th grade. I wanted to play volleyball high school, but my high school didn't have a volleyball team.
Mm-hmm.
So I did track and basketball in high school.
Okay.
So it was kind of hard doing both, but yeah.
Did basketball come easy to you? Did it come hard to you?
Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't really interested in playing basketball until like 9th grade. Like, I went to tryouts. I told my dad I wanted to just try to see if I could make the team. I only made the team because I was the tallest one, honestly. But I couldn't dribble, couldn't shoot, nothing. I never touched the ball. And I just took 9th grade year and I just listened to the coaches, was coachable, was working out with boys a lot. Like, men taught me a lot about basketball. It was better competition. And 7th grade, they made me the captain, and ever since then,
That's a very impressive turnaround. Hold on, so from 9th grade, first time playing basketball in a series to 10th grade years, your second year ever playing basketball in your life, and you was a captain on the team.
Mm-hmm. Captain and starter. So.
Tell me about the importance. Like, tell me about how being a captain impacted your view of playing basketball going forward. Because 9th grade, like you're saying, you kind of only played it just because you wanted something to do.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me what that leadership role did for you after you got there.
9th grade, seeing the captain that was already there, how she really cared about the sport, and like me getting to like a big liking for it, and seeing like when I was in 7th grade, 9th graders coming in the same position that I was in, I just wanted to like help them out, the same way how the captains helped me when I was in 9th grade. So once I got that leadership role and people really started to listen and take heed to what I was saying, I just like being a leader. So.
I mean, obviously that followed you to the rest of your life. Obviously, you in a position now where you're mentoring other people, where you're leading from example. You know what I mean? So I feel like that early experience kind of showed you right away who you had a chance to be going forward.
Mm-hmm.
How did the rest of your high school basketball career pan out? You obviously started a lot of games, played a lot of games after your 9th grade year.
Well, my high school was kind of small. We moved it was a school down West Philly called, I forgot what it was, Discovery Charter.
Mm-hmm.
Kipp took over their building. So we didn't even have a gym inside our school. So we had to travel all the way to uptown to practice. Our home games was in uptown, which didn't make sense. But we barely had resources. So when I just had free time, I would go to the gym myself and really just work on my game, I had a lot of male friends. I got a brother's cousin, so I would just work my game out. And when I got to 12th grade, we had a different coach every year, literally, like a new face every single year. Like they came for 1 year, quit, came for another year, quit. So 12th grade year, we had the same athletic director, so he was like really my support system there because I was seeing new faces every year. He was the only like solid face there. So 12th grade, he was really pushing me because colleges look more at 11th and 12th grade. So that's when I started scoring 15 plus per game. I made all city, all pub, 2017. I was the first girl ever in Kipp to get a full ride to college to make all city. So they took that as a big thing. Had like a little ceremony or whatever.
That's very impressive. And I'll tell you, because I remember when I was playing high school football, I graduated in 16. So I think my 11th grade and 12th grade year, that was when Kipp football team first became a thing. We was playing against them. Mm-hmm. And we, to this day, we still talk about it because that, like, when you're a brand new football team, it's very hard. Like, a new coach that's coming in and implementing a new system and trying to get buy-in from 30, 40, 50 kids sometimes, and trying to make sure everybody understands. Sometimes you're teaching the sport to people for the first time. And we was always saying, like, bro, people might see the score for the game versus Kipp because obviously it was a new team. We was a team that we was all together since middle school. You feel me? We all been together, know each other. I'm like, don't let that score fool you, bro. It was some kids on that team that really played hard.
Yeah, we had a girl on our team, my 12th grade year. She was the first girl on the all-men's team.
And I kind of tell you about the culture at that school, man. Like, I used to line up against them. I'm like, bro, I'm tired of playing against kids. I played them twice, 11th grade and twice in 12th grade. And I'm like, bro, like, people would see the score, 35-7, y'all beat them good, didn't you? It was a long 35-7, man. It was a long 35-7, man. Like, you gotta earn every minute of the game like that because I feel like when it comes to especially schools that got less resources, like people don't really realize that the kids take ownership of every single thing that comes with it. You know, like tell me about that like the off season when you were having to go off and find different ways to train, like, whether you had to go to the park and play with the
high school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, off season I was running track, so I was still, getting in shape and stuff, but I just really had to go Haddington and on 56th Street.
Yeah, everybody been.
I was there, like, it wasn't too many of us that was like females at that park, so I just would go to different parks in West Philly. Like, I know a lot of people in West Philly, so I would just go to the parks with them and play with guys. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I forgot what was her name, man. We was playing rec league basketball in 8th grade. It was this one girl. I think her name was Kiana. She used to give us buckets, bro. I remember it was rec league basketball, man. It was all boys in the league. She ended up playing high school ball at Newman Goretti too. Like, she ended up being super tough. But when I'll tell you, like, she used to line up and go dead at us. Like, our coach used to have to remind us in the first half of the game, like, at the first time out, he was like, yo, you better not play her like she a girl because she is not looking at you like she's a girl. Like, she is coming to give y'all work. So tell me about the mindset that you got to have as a girl going into a room playing basketball against all men, because obviously some of them are going to look at you differently early on in the game until you go in and really impose your will. Like, obviously, like, some might want to still treat you like a girl or like a woman.
Well, me going into playing with guys, like, I'll tell them, like you just said, don't treat me like I'm a female. Like, I'm here to get better. Like, so even when I'm on the court, talking stuff to them, they going at me, I'm going at them. I'm just, like, earning my respect with them. Because once they see how I talk to them and how I maneuver around them, they're not going to treat me like a female. So that's pretty much what I do. I just earn my respect when I walk in the gym.
What we like to hear. So tell me about the transition. Obviously, like you said, you was the first woman at your school to ever get a full scholarship to go to school. So tell me about your recruitment process. Tell me about, like, the different schools that was coming to talk to you and, how that went from picking your school.
Honestly, I didn't have a lot of schools looking at me. Valley Forge Military Academy, that's who gave me the full ride. The coach came to the all-city game. It was at Gratz down uptown. I forgot which one it was called. I think it was Gratz North or something. I don't know. But he was at the game, and prior to that, a situation happened in my school, and my hand got messed up. So like I really wasn't in my game because it was the very next day. My hand was swollen and stuff, but I still was like pushing through. He saw that I was pushing through. He really just looked at my defense. Really, like I didn't even score that game. So
wow.
He pulled me to the side and was like, I can, like, when I was trying to score, he saw how my hand was, and he looked at my hand. Like that's the like first thing he did when I hopped off the court. He looked at my hand and he saw it was swollen, and he was like, it's like tough how you still went out there and still played, because a lot of people would have just backed out of it. And I was like, no, like I put on for my high school, so I had to come out here. And that's when he offered the full ride. He offered me a tour, like an overnight trip. I went to the overnight trip. It wasn't for me, like at all. Like I wanted to go to school to get that college experience. I didn't want to go to school. I already had a strict parent growing up, so I wanted to have a little freedom and still be able to play ball while schoolwork. So I like declined the offer or whatever, and I was pretty late in the college process. I applied to IUP 2 weeks before classes started. I got accepted like 4 days after, and I went to Walmart, got all my stuff, and just left and went 5 hours away by myself. I knew about one other person from a high school. She came with me, and when I went down there, I just spoke to the athletic director. She told me that I would have to red shirt the first year because they already had all their starters and stuff, seniors and stuff, so which I didn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started working out with them. My mom wound up calling me, my grandma dying, so she was pretty messed up, so I had to leave, drop out, and come home to help her. And then once summertime came, my grandma doctor said she was doing better. I wanted to stay local, so I wound up getting a full ride to Manor College in Jenkintown.
Mm-hmm.
I applied there 3 days before school started. Grandma died, so I really could have went back to IUP, but I was already local. I had to be there for my family, so I went to Manor. And when I got to Manor, we had a full team. We only had 5 girls, but that's still a full team. Mm-hmm. So practices started. One of the girls didn't like how the coach was coaching. She quit. Season canceled. So I went there for a year for nothing, literally. Wow. And then I just took a break. I wound up having my daughter, and then that's when I went to CCP.
So I don't know about you, but that's a lot more adversity than a lot of people can handle in a very short time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually just lost my grandfather recently. Like I understand the feeling of having somebody that's done so much for you, been around for you so much. And it could have been real easy for you to kind of just package it up and just put yourself into a corner and go down a real bad spiral,
Yeah.
Tell me how you use that to fuel you going forward. Like you said that, immediately afterwards, that your daughter was born recently after that, right? Mm-hmm. And tell me about the transition from when your daughter was born to deciding that you still wanted to play basketball afterwards and go to CCP.
I didn't want to play.
Mm-hmm.
I was just over it because of like my whole pregnancy and everything. It was just like, nah, like I don't got time for it. Because I'm a single mom. Well, I have help now, but I was a single mom for 3 years, so it was like I was doing everything by myself. I really didn't want to go, but I knew the CCP coach since high school. He was trying to recruit me since high school, but I wanted to go to like a university. Like if I had a better offer there, I would go there and see how it is. And if anything transpired, then I'll come to the community. So he just called my phone one day. He saw me at a basketball game, and he asked, how was I doing? And then he was like, you're coming to CCP this year. Like he kept telling me like, you're coming. And then he brought me down to the school. I applied, got in, and then went from there.
So you ended up playing there 1 year, both years?
No, I played 2021 to 2022. Mm-hmm. So it was like literally a year after my daughter was born. Mm-hmm. So it was like a pretty fast. It was like in the middle of COVID too. So it was just a lot going on at the time. Mm-hmm. So we couldn't have spectators at our games. Like it was just a silent gym. So like they made a rule like the men's team had to come support or watch the women's game, because we used to play first at 5 and then they would play at 7. So we would have to stay to watch their game just to have, their home support.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I was working an overnight job at GoPuff from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Went home for like an hour or two. Went to class from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Went home for an hour. Came back to school for practice. Or if we had an away game, I would have to go back to the school by 2:30. We would leave, go down there, play the game, watch the men's game, come back home, and I had to go straight back to work. As soon as I got back to the school, took a shower at the school, went to work, Monday to Friday. Sometimes we had games on Saturdays that I would go that we had. It wasn't like that many, so like Saturday and Sunday was really my, chill days. But it really wasn't chill because my daughter was still so young, so I had to deal with her and homework and all that. So it was pretty hard. My coaches and stuff didn't know how I did it. And then in the midst of my season, one of my close friends died. I consider like my little brother. He died in November, so he died the same day I had a game. So I found that out in the morning, went to my game. Had to play through it because we only had 5 players again. So this is the second school I went to that had 5 players. So played that game. His funeral was like a week later. Had a game that same day. So I went to his funeral, right after his funeral. Went to school, went to my game. Then a month after that, one of my other close friends died from high school. So, and I was with him like that same day he died. So it was just like, crazy. So when I got that call in the morning, I still had to go to school, still had to go to practice, and I had a game again. They both died on a Tuesday. Our games was Tuesdays and Thursdays. So then his funeral came. We had a playoff game that day. I went to his funeral, left his funeral early. We played Northampton for our first round playoffs. Went to Northampton. I probably had like 30, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that just, because he was like one of my biggest supporters. So, went to my playoff game. We wound up losing, but still, like, doing all that, it was like really hard. So, like, my coaches to this day tell me, like I salute you because I want to be able to do it. So.
That almost brings tears in my eyes, man. No, for real, man, because, like, it's really hard to play sport. Like, a lot of people don't really understand the mental health that come with games, that come with sport, Because, as you just said, you was working 40 hours a week, still had your classes, still had a young child to take care of, still had your school responsibilities, still had your practice responsibilities, still had your game responsibilities to your team, and you didn't have the opportunity to take a day off at all.
No.
Like, if you would have took a game off, your team don't play, y'all lose.
Yeah, forfeit.
If you take a day off from working, you're a single mom at this point, like you were saying, so your daughter is going to be hungry that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to go out and make the decision every day, like, no matter what's happening outside of what's going on in my day-to-day, these few things, like, I have to be accountable to all of these things regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is one of the most impressive things that, like, anybody could do. That's why, when I'm telling people, like, listen, bro, when you're a former athlete and you're applying for jobs, make sure you let these people know that, like, you were a high school or you were a college athlete, because people don't realize how much effort and how much work goes into the smallest of development. When I was playing basketball as a kid, man, I couldn't shoot nothing. You feel me? I was always, like, that's kind of why God led me to football, because it was like shooting free throws. I was always got to shoot the free throw off the backboard because I could never just aim at the front of the rim. It never really worked for me. If I shot at the front of the rim, it was coming back to me. Feel me? My best bet was, all right, let me just aim for the box and the backboard, and I know it's going to go in if it bounce off.
Yeah.
But just something as intricate as shooting free throws that NBA players shoot 20 or 30 of them in a game sometimes, you feel me? I was one of them people that I could have went to a game and went 0 for 20 if I wasn't feeling good that day. Like, do you feel like you ever had to, like, really just go into the game and just, like, put your mask on, obviously, like, put your mask on, and just whoever you was before you walked in doesn't really matter because you got to be this player for your team and for your coaches today?
Yeah, well, in the beginning of my season, it was more like I was kind of nervous because I never really, that was my first time actually stepping on a college court. So it was like nerve-wracking, and then I couldn't have no family or friends there, so it was like I didn't have no support. So once I got back accustomed to playing under the whistle, it was like, even when my friends died, it was like, I'm going to leave all that out at the door. Like, it's nothing I can do. I'll cry in the locker room before the game started, and then just thug it out, because like you said, I couldn't quit because it was 5 of us. So I had to just, even when my friends died, my coach was like, "Are you sure you want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to give up on my team. Like, that's personal issues." So, like, they all just, made me, get into game mode before the game. So, it really helped me a lot, so.
I love that, man. I'm not gonna lie, like that always warmed me up. Like I love hearing stories like that because that kind of reminds me of myself, like all of the little things that I had to go through and still persevere through. Because a wise man once told me, like, nobody cares work harder. Like no matter what's going on in your outside life, nobody really is gonna care about what you had to experience.
Mm-hmm.
They're just gonna care about the end result, what you could bring. You know. So obviously, you ended up having, like you said, a pretty good couple years at CCP. Tell me what happened afterwards.
Afterwards, I had to take a break because my daughter wasn't at school, so, and I ain't had that much more support, so I had her all day. So I had to figure out a schedule with my mom so that she can watch her all day for me, because she was already watching her a lot while I was at CCP. So as my daughter got older, that's when the bad, terrible twos come. So I just had to work out a schedule with my mom. I didn't have time for school, really, to take classes and work and, do what I was doing. I only was able to do it because she was so young. So once she got older, it's more responsibility. So I just took a break, and then I got into, starting teams and stuff like that.
Tell me about that, because that's obviously, like it can't be no walk in the park. I got one of my homies who he has like he has an AAU team, and I saw how much time and effort he was putting into it, and I just thought, like, sign the kids up for the tournaments, you show up, you play the games, buy some nice uniforms online. Like, tell me about what went into your organization. Tell me about what your program is, what you guys stand for, what your plan for them is going forward, etc.
Well, I'm gonna backtrack to the AAU. I was actually a coach for 13U and 17U when I came home from IUP, when I was home for that time. I was on a former AAU team called the VCP Rebels that I was playing in high school, and he brought me on as a coach. So once I started coaching, I was going to school for sports management too. So I wanted to get that on my resume. So I started coaching them, and that's when my coaching thing really got activated. Me learning from him how to coach, and it was pretty hard because it was men. But once I realized, in all honesty, men listen to women, females more than men. Really, like a lot of female coaches get respected more about men because of the dominance. Like college female coaches give that motherhood, like when they're going through something, they feel comfortable to come talk to their coach, because we're females, and females listen. Not all of us are always stern. So that was a big part of it. I had a team, the Philadelphia Tomahawks, that I just started, but some terrible things happened, which I'm not really gonna speak on because I want to keep my business thriving.
That's fine.
So I just had that team. It was men's. We just had a season opener and everything. So, but now I'm just working on having my own business, everything on my own, no help really, because I learned a lot from that last situation that I had to just do everything by myself. So, I'm starting an ABA team, a men's team. So I just had to start from scratch. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, to start all over. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm a captain of the women's ABA team, the first ever in Philadelphia. It's called the Philadelphia Fury. Our season starts in July. So right now we're working on tryouts, getting a gym, trying to get St. Jules. But that's on the top of our list. So I just been focused on that really. And I have another organization called Hoop Life which sponsors like 1-on-1, 2-on-2 events. We'll bring people from other cities here to Philly, or we'll go travel to them. Film YouTube content. I know a lot of Ball's Life, Next Chapter. Some of my friends are Next Chapter. So whenever they'll always come out to help support and get YouTube content up. So we have a monthly event, well, every month really. A lot of our players are in college, but we found players to fill in until they get back. So that's just basically trying to get them out there to expose themselves and show people what they got, really, that they don't have that much exposure in Philly because there's so many basketball players. So that's more like for them to get exposed in other cities so that, they can get videos and everything that they need to go to the next level.
I feel like it's extremely important. Like, as my old coach used to say, like, you might not see it just because it's your day to day and you're living it right now, but I hate to be all spiritual, but right now, like, you need to understand you're doing the Lord's work. You know what I mean? Because I know when I was coming up, I always give thanks to all of the people that went so hard for me to try to help get me to where I needed to be in life. Fun fact, she wasn't even my coach she wasn't technically even my coach. It was my homie mom. It was my little brother baseball coach. Her name was Miss Teresa, Mama TT. So Mama TT, if you see this, which you will because you always tell me about my video, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, she did so much for us. Her sons used to play basketball. She got a few sons. Rob, he's my boy T. And her younger sons. We all was around the same age, so when she signed us up for AAU basketball, my dad was a cab driver. My mom used to braid hair. My mom, she doing micros 13 hours a day. She can't drive us around. My dad was working 6 days a week, all day, all night. He ain't had the time to take us nowhere. So it was just kind of like, they understood sports was important to us, but they didn't really have the means to take us to practice, take us to games, take us to places. And this lady used to pick us up either at the rec center or even at our house. And like, our games was in Chichester. Our games was all over the place. I promise you, to this day, like, she never asked me for $1 of gas money. She never hit me up to this day and say, yo, like, I need this, like, send me this, like, all I did for you when you was a child. Like, she did it just because we was friends with her kids and she wanted to see her kids' friends doing well in life, you know what I mean? And it's my goal, like, one day in life, like, I got a whole, like, list of people on my phone, like I want to go back and do something for these people. Like, I don't got the means to do everything I want to do for everybody yet, but, like, I'm one of the people I really try to, like, keep tabs and keep receipts of the people that do good for me, because it's so many people that did so much to get me where I'm at. And I know, like, you at these practices with these boys and these girls now, and, y'all all just working hard, but they don't realize right now how much of an impact you're having on their life. And even you don't realize because you're still living in the moment, but one day they're going to be 25, one day they're going to have families, they're going to have kids, and they're going to have to look back like, damn, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her pushing me, or her yelling at me, or her leading me to water when I could have been making wrong decisions. So I just want to let you know that you're doing very, very good things for these people right now. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
And keep doing what you're doing, because if you don't, like, it's no guarantee that somebody else will.
Yeah.
Tell me about your aspirations for what you're doing now. Like, what's your vision for where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
5, 10 years from now, I want to have my own sports facility, my own teams. I just want to have somewhere that, people can go and get out the streets. Like, there's nothing out here really. Like, Philly's just getting terrible, like, by the day. So it's like, I want, like, the people that I normally, where I want to bring on my program, which a lot of people even from the old team, still texting me. This morning was texting me, like thank you for giving me this opportunity, because it's like, I have a lot of connects. That's why I go to other cities and, like, go to events, like, by myself. Like, the only female in there, talking about ish to them and everything, and they realizing, like, oh, who's this girl just in here? She know basketball. Let me go talk to her and see what she got going on. And once I tell them what I have going on, they'll be like, yeah, like, it's not too many females out here that, really do this for men's. Really, it's always men's, and you know how men fight, argue, and stuff. So it's, when they see a female, it's like they just think it's amazing. So I just want people to get contracts overseas. Really play their game, because a lot of times, which I can say this for myself, I had a couple coaches where I really kind of play my game. I had to do what they said to do, even if it was like out of my comfort. So when I normally coach or have a team, I don't really say much to them really. I just let them play their game. If they mess up, I'll pull them to the side, tell them what they did wrong, go back in the game, they don't do it again. So it's all about how somebody like criticize you, because a lot of players, like coming from a player, we don't like getting yelled at, because it's like now we feel like any little thing we mess up on, we're gonna get penalized, taken out the game. When a lot of coaches pull you to the side and will like really like talk to you like, hey, get out your head, you're doing good, just fix this, this, and this, and now they feel more comfortable where they can play the game. So I just want people to, my goal is still to go overseas. So I just want everybody to win, really. Just go overseas and play the game, especially females. Like, we don't have nothing out here for us. So
tell me about the importance of equity in sport, like, female representation, because obviously you could walk into these gyms with a bunch of guys in there and they could tell you, like, I'm not listening to a girl. You can't teach me nothing that I don't know already.
Yeah.
Like, I've been playing ball my whole life. What can you teach me? Why would I listen to you? So tell me about the importance of, like, a woman being able to walk into a room and, like, being at a place where, like, if she understands basketball, or she understands baseball, or she understands football, for example. Because there's now women football coaches, college, high school, NFL, whatever. Like, they're officiating games. Where do you feel like sports is right now with it, and where do you feel like it can be soon?
I feel like right now, a lot of basketball players, even football players, they're used to men coaches. So, and a lot of people don't think women can do men jobs, but I feel like that's a lie. Like, anything a man could do is construction workers as females that know a lot more than males. It's just what you, like, how much you put into what you're trying to learn and how great you want to be at it. Like me, my regular job is security. That's a male dominant job. You don't see a lot of female security really, like ally and stuff, but not really like security guard. So a lot of people when they see me like at work, I gotta wear a body cam, a bulletproof vest, police radio. I gotta wear a lot. So when people walk in my store, they be like, they have a female here, like,
we about to rob the place.
Are you a cop? And I'd be like, no, I'm just a security guard. Like, a lot of people aren't used to dominant females. So a lot of athletes, when they see dominant females, and once they really sit down and listen, and they know you know what you're talking about, that's when, like I said, you earn your respect with people. It might take some time. You might have to yell at them, but once they get that you know what you're talking about and you're actually there to help them, and once they can see that they can come to you about personal reasons, that's all that you need. Once they have your trust and they feel comfortable with you, they're gonna like listen. It just takes time. Like, once you meet new people, it's just gonna take time.
No, man, that's major. You did say that you're a mother to a daughter, right?
Yes.
How old is she now?
She's 3.
She's 3. What's your vision for her? Obviously, like, she's gonna have the world to her fingertips. She'll be able to do whatever she wants. The world is obviously, like, there's women like you out there right now that's paving the way for women to be able to do whatever they want to do in this world. So, like, are you gonna put her in sports early? Like, are you gonna just kind of let her be a free spirit? What's your vision for her coming up? Obviously.
Well, she's been around basketball since she was like 3 months. Literally, I had her in the car seat on the sideline, watching me play basketball. So, like, now she loves basketball. Wakes up, talk about basketball. Like, anytime I come home and she see I'm getting dressed, she think we're going to the gym. So, like, if that's what the field that she wants to go, then I'm gonna put her in early. Like, I'm gonna just try to see if she like it. But if not, then I'm not gonna force her to play no sports or anything. Whatever she wants to do, I'm gonna support it. She wants to be a dancer, I'll support it. Like, I just have to get adapted to it because I don't really know about a lot of sports. But yeah, the only thing I'm really gonna put her in is boxing. It's just cruel world out here. So I gotta make sure she, is on her A game, like know how to defend herself. But that's the only thing I'm gonna actually put her in. But if she come up to me and ask me like, "Hey, I want to get into cheerleading," I'm gonna find a cheerleading team that starts for 5-year-olds or something. But right now she is basketball, right now. So I got her like a little basketball court, for Christmas. So when she's open it, she'll be pretty hyped. So
I like to hear that type of stuff, man.
Yeah.
I got a son, man. I look at him and I see and I just see the whole world every time I look at him. You know what I mean? So, like, I always give it to the younger parents, man, because you don't really get the credit for what you. And I understand that, obviously, you made a decision to bring your child into the world, and you make a decision to be a parent every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like parents still need a pat on the back every once in a while. Like, you need to realize that, like, it's a lot of people out here that's bad parents, man. It's a lot of people out here that's not trying. A lot of people that's not involved in their children's lives, So just to be able to take the time out every day to just be able to, like, shape your life around your child's life and be able to know that, like, what you're doing is always for them. Like, my son is, like, he's the man of the house, man. He make all the decisions around that joint, man. Like, everything that happened is revolving around him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm taking a sick day at work, it's because he don't feel good. Not because I don't feel good. It's because he got to go to the doctor. Like, I don't know. I feel like being a parent just teaches you so much about life, especially when it comes to sport. You never really understand those relationships you have with your coaches or with mentors or whatever until you look at a child that, like, they literally will starve if you don't feed them, especially at that age. Like, they'll be dirty if you don't clean them. Like, that's kind of how I see sports. It's like, if that coach didn't pour into you what they could have, you wouldn't have made it to where you are. As much as some people have God-given ability, you need the coach to show up with a whistle, or you're not going to be able to play that organized game at the end of the day. So that's the type of relationship that I like look back and have with my coaches. Is like you guys fed me when I was hungry. Like, you guys took me to practice. Like Miss Teresa, she took me to practice every day, took me to games. When we was playing baseball, she drove us to the batting cage. It's like, it's just priceless stuff, man. That, like, they're almost like another set of parents for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, with the basketball world today, do you feel like there's a lot of opportunity for you to learn more about the game and become a better coach while you're coaching right now?
Yes. Like, I actually learned a lot from even some of my players. Like, they would hear me telling them stuff, and then after I finish saying it, they'll point me to the side like, "Hey, no, that's not how that goes, such and such, such and such." So you can learn every day, like, how to become a better coach or more about that. I don't know every single little thing about basketball. Like, I know enough, but I still learn every day from other people, even former teammates or even people I don't know. People younger than me teach me stuff. So I'm always, like, willing to learn. I don't know everything. So even if people trying to give me good criticism, I don't never take it away. They should try and, like, help me out.
Do you feel like you would ever be interested in coaching in college or coaching, like, obviously, like, in the WNBA or maybe in the NBA, like, or do you feel like, the program that you're starting to set up where you're trying to start the rec leagues and you're trying to start the pro AM teams and the pro teams, or do you feel like that's more your lane?
I'm more so, I don't even want to go to the NBA to play, so I don't want that famous feeling. Because I feel like once people get money and fame into their lives, they just forget about, what they came from. So I'd rather stay where I'm at. I'm planning on, I don't want to stay in Philly my, whole life, but I'm going to still make sure I have stuff going on in Philly, have, trustable people, like, organizing it and, keeping it going even when I'm not here. So that's pretty much my lane. I don't want to go further than that. School is I don't know. I finished the school thing. I'm not going back to become a college coach, or I just like where I'm at now. I have a lot of support, like, in Philadelphia basketball. So I know with all them helping and supporting, like, I'll be fine.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. I think we're gonna leave it at that, man. That was nice. I feel like I already hit everything. Listen, guys, make sure that you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm gonna leave all of her socials in the caption and the comments. I'm very thankful that you came down here today.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
No, I really thank you because, like I was saying, like I really am really big on representation. Really trying to make this like an open forum for people to really talk about their experiences, talk about what they went through and what made them, what molded them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like half of the athletes in the world is women, you know? And I learned so much from women on and off of the sports world. And, you know, if women were so critical in my development as a man that, like, I feel like I have to represent that here. So for all the women that I'm reaching out to, be like Mo.
It's crazy because a lot of people, like, when they see this, they're not going to know I went through all that. Like, I don't really talk about it. So it's my first time opening up, really. My boyfriend don't even know this stuff. And so it just had to be told. So
that's extremely important. Well, man, like I said, I really appreciate you for coming down, guys. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe. I got a lot of great content on the way, a lot of great interviews on the way. Very excited for all of the cool stuff that I got coming to you guys. And, you know, just like that, we're going.
I couldn't tell you in person, so I decided to write a song.